I'm Dustin Corbett from upstate New York and your host of Two Steps Ahead. I'm brewing solutions on the Car Guy Coffee Podcast.
Let's brew. Hey, car guys, car gals, and all of you solutionaries out there, welcome to the Car Guy Coffee Podcast. I am Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
And I'm Fred Lenartz, the subprime hero.
And with us today, we have a special guest. Fred, who do we have in the cafe with us today?
Oh, man, we got a hot general manager out there. This guy's all the way from up north, upstate New York. He's from Elmira.
My neck of the woods.
Yeah, he runs a Toyota store up there. He's been kicking butt, but this guy is stepping out. He started jumping into social media just a handful of months ago, and he's becoming already a monster in there. People are already starting to talk about him. People are starting to follow him. People are listening to what he has to say because he's nothing but positive stuff, and he's talking about leadership, right?
That's right.
One of my favorite things that he says, and he has it actually posted on his LinkedIn account, is I take responsibility for everyone under me. I work above no one. Powerful statement. So today we have the one, the only, the Dustin Corbett.
Dustin.
What's up, guys? I appreciate you having me on. I'm looking forward to this. And as always, I'm humbled that you would even consider asking me. So I'm excited. You guys are like I said before, you guys are having a hell of a time. So even getting, a half hour, 40 minutes, whatever it may be, I'm excited.
Yeah, man, it's just about having a good time and sharing and brewing a nice little brew together. Brewing solutions.
That's right. The excitement that I know is kind of built up anytime that we get the chance to have somebody jump inside of the cafe with us, whether it's physically inside of one of the chairs or it's right here during a Zoom meeting. It's that we actually get to connect where it is that we are all actually running inside of the same beat. We have the same rhythm. We have the same mantras, the same inner core that makes us the car guys, the car gals, the professionals, the elite of the elite, the Jedis. I mean, I'll come up with so many different.
You can keep going.
Metaphorical lines, but when you line up the Avengers of an industry, it gets you excited. There's an energy that you flow with that's a lot better, and it's always something that kind of reverberates. You know what I mean? Like putting a good band together. You know what I mean? Man, we're really sounding good when we got the microphone and we got the drums. Yeah. But man, this guy over here, he's got a dope bass to him. Man, and that just makes this whole groove a little bit more funky. And that's what it's like when we get together with somebody like you, just vibing the little bit of time that we had before everybody else jumped in here with us. I can feel it. You're just in the midst of good company, good people, and people that are brewing solutions. I am appreciative of just having a cup of coffee and a conversation with a solutionary like you. Dustin, welcome to the cafe, man.
Thank you so much. I think you're 100% right. What social media can actually do for us, and probably any business. Now, we're in auto. I don't know much about really any other business. It's all I know. But what this whole LinkedIn social thing did for me was make it smaller than what I thought it was. And to your point, there's a lot of people that are on the same wavelength as you two and I that I would have never known. And when you get into a conversation and you hear what they have to say, and then they hear what you have to say, and you converse and you text and you message each other back and forth, you support each other, you have each other's backs, man, it's really refreshing. Because we don't have many, like I can't go home and really speak to my wife about the car thing. She'll get a lot of it, the people end of it. But, within our industry, it's really hard to find somebody that can just talk car. It's like we almost have our own, jargon or lingo. And it's very hard for people to understand this business that have never spent any time in it. So finding people like you guys, it just makes it easy, and it makes it a hell of a lot of fun, I got to tell you.
Heck yeah.
That's exactly right.
That's what we want the cafe to be.
That's what it's about. We have a community. It's on Facebook. I have a community called the Car Guy Cafe, and it's just a little group on there that we invite nothing but car sales professionals. You could be a banker. You could be even if you clean cars, I don't care. If you're part of the business, I want you in there but it has to be people who are looking to grow and solve and make solutions. Don't come in there with negative.
Right.
There's plenty of negative out there, but this job is so amazing. And just like you are, you can attest to it, how great it's done for your life and your family and so on for us. We can keep going forever about the potential of this business and what it does and the how it helps you grow in a multitude of different ways, so.
Absolutely.
No, man, we're honored to have you here, man. And I'm super excited to get into this 5-liner with you and just to learn more about you, because I know about you from LinkedIn mostly, where you and we have definitely talked a lot on there. I always got to give you the thumbs up marker on that every time you do something, because you always do stuff that I definitely, like we say, we're all on the same frequency, and I feel that, right? So,
100%.
And that's one thing, and I love that you said about it's about how the car guy community it's tight. It's tighter than you think it is if you go out there and you reach out. And that's part of what we're trying to do. We're trying to bring communities, like you're upstate New York, we're here in Kentucky. I've talked to a guy from Florida. I'm trying to unite communities to show each other unique ideas that might be working up there that would work here. All together, man.
That's it.
So I'm super excited about this.
We all legitimately want the best for each of us.
Oh man, no doubt.
Exactly. If it's good for you, it's good for me.
Because we have a bad.
The way it is.
Absolutely, we have a bad stigma, in our industry from years and years and years ago. That the more of these collusions that we can put together, the better we'll make our business.
No doubt.
And if it's good for you, hopefully that'll move up to New York or vice versa, and it'll be good for all of us. We're not direct competition to anybody, so why are we not trying to help each other?
And my mantra, and before we can just file on it, we can keep talking, but I honestly have no problem helping out the next door neighbor dealer. Because they may be competition, but they're really not. We all sell different things. We all have different processes. We all have different ways that benefit a different type of customer. The key is just making sure that it's done right and truthful. If all dealerships can do that, then everybody would just come in when they want a vehicle and they'll buy it, and they don't even say yes to that. Right? That's what the future needs to be.
100%.
So let's get into this 5-liner, my friend. And I always start my 5-liner with the same question with everybody. We all have a purpose and we all have a reason why we do things. With you, I'm sure you have a why. What is your why? What drives you every day?
Easy. I'm nervous about this 5-liner. This one is easy. My family.
Oh man, yeah.
My wife and I have been together for almost 10 years now. Well, 11 years. We have a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old, 2 boys. And I certainly, and I mean this in all sincerity, I would not do, at least in this position or this role that I'm doing now, if I didn't have any of them. It wouldn't be worth it.
I know what you mean.
The hours and the stress and everything, it wouldn't be worth it. I would probably sell cars. It would be probably a lot easier. Now, I sold cars, and I love my salesman. I'm not saying that it's easy, but I'm just saying it's a different stress level. And
it's a completely different job,
Yeah. Listen, what my wife did for me when we first met, we were in school, and I was actually, I'm not going to get onto a whole rant, but I was living in my car and in a clubhouse for my collegiate baseball team, and she was still in school. I made a promise to her years and years and years ago that she will never have to worry about anything. And I don't forget that. And that's what I got. I mean, I didn't grow up with a whole hell of a lot. I love my parents to death. They're the greatest people in the world. But I want better for them, and I will not stop. And that is my why. That is the only reason where I'm at where I'm at. I'm 33. I feel like I'm 50 sometimes. But I've made it further than a lot of people purely because of hard work. And
that is, man. And wait till you see yourself. So we're both getting closer to, like, I'm in my early 40s. I'm 41, and Lou's just turned 39. And wait till if you do what you're doing right now and you stay consistent, I know you will. I could tell. I mean, you just committed to, and we'll talk about your new podcast here soon. But you just committed to doing that, which will hold you more accountable, make 100%. You have to be that guy all the time, right? And that which is done for me too. It's wonderful. I feel like I've never been happier, even in the time it's going on right now.
That's great.
But, yeah, it is, man. I love what you had to say about your family, man. Both of us, that is our whys too. There's no doubt without that motivation. I mean, could I be good at what I do? Yes, but I would have more excuses. I would have more reasons like, well, I don't really need to, but every time I think of like, well, I don't want to do something, I think, what would my son think of me would he think I was lazy? Would he think I was this? Would he think I'm really good at my job if he came in and saw what I was doing right now? And that's stuff I tell my salespeople when I train them. I'm like, listen, you need to think that way. Because if your son was sitting next to you and you were sitting doing what you're doing all day, would he say, Dad, you worked hard today? Or would he say, Dad, what do you do? So that is so key. And I'm glad you have that why. And there's nothing more wonderful than that, man. And I applaud you for having an amazing family and committing to a long relationship. Shows a lot about you. So
I appreciate it. You guys, we're on the same page here. Like I could tell, like 20 minutes we've been talking. I love it. I love it. You should hear some of our meetings with our morning meetings.
Yeah.
We talk about family. We talk about exactly what you're saying.
Yes, sir.
Whatever your reason is, you should hear. I told you, episode 2 coming up in a few days. I just recorded it before you guys and I started talking. It's this topic. So I can't wait. Yeah, I'm telling you.
Perfect. It's right on heart.
So it's phenomenal.
Lining up inside of that is something that, of course, you are a solutionary brewing that where it is that you are with your people. And it is something that we make sure to connect to the guys with, and understanding that your why is also the who you're working for. Completely shifting the mindset of, I don't work for the owner of the dealership. You don't work for Toyota. You know, when you turn to the face of your child, when you turn to the face of your wife, that's who you're working for. You're doing a job for this person. You are receiving a commission for a job you are completing. If you don't fulfill the job, you don't receive the payment for said job. Make sense?
100%.
So with that is the who is also in every single conversation we've had so far has been the who has been the why has been the who. It's always been the home team. And that is definitely something that is always consistent so far that I've seen just in the interviews that we've had with everybody's rhythm, everybody's frequency is the same when it comes to that why. And that's definitely
100%.
Park Guy Coffee approved. But that's, 100% of what it takes to be that succession level legacy building solutionary. So when saying succession, you know what I mean? It's not just you, it's the next generation after you. You know what I mean? So your success is in the succession. Does that make sense? Yeah. So anyway, sorry, there's my little.
He's so deep.
I'm in your head right now.
Dude, yeah.
I totally get it.
That's awesome, man. So number 2. Now, before you were in automotive sales, you said this is all you know, but I'm sure there was something you did before you got in automotive sales. What was it? Obviously, I think you already answered it before. I don't even know why I'm asking this now. You were a collegiate baseball player. This is literally the only full-time career that I've ever had. Stud. I played college ball just outside of New York City, and then I played about a year of independent small-level minor league baseball, and that's it. When I was done with that, it was looking for anything that I could do to make any money, and I stumbled upon a automotive sales gig, and that's it. Got hooked, right? Yeah, I got. Gotcha. And I'm over. And it's
first check.
You're not kidding, because it was cash for clunkers.
Dude, you came in that time.
11 years
Welcome
ago.
To the business. Yeah,
exactly.
I was like 7 years in the business when that happened already. Okay. We're both over 50. He's 16, 17 years. I'm 17, 18 years into the business now, and we've seen a lot during that time.
10.
And you're doing a great job, man. And you're just scraping the surface of what the potential of this business is. And I see it more and more now that I've touched social media so much. It's unbelievable to put how much growth there is with the right network and the right people and all the stuff that people always tell you to do. And you're like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. And when you do it, it works out. Yeah. Yeah, right. Go figure. So, your name is so perfect for a baseball player. When I heard you say that earlier, that's what came across my head. Dude, that is such a baseball name. No doubt he played 2 baseball. Syllables, both names. Yeah, I had it. I had the vision. I thought I was going to be, one of these 8 years, $150 million guys. I don't know what happened. It was all perfect. It was all. You just got to remember one thing. Not everybody goes and plays collegiate ball or gets to play any of that. So you were better than. So that's stud. That's stud. No doubt. I mean, I made money for about 6 months playing baseball. It was $1,500, but it was the best 6 months. Oh yeah, it was phenomenal. Man. Bro, I was absolutely terrible. If I showed you my statistics, you'd cry. Either way, man, that's awesome. That's a great accomplishment. So we all have influences in our lives, for me, it's the first guy that ever trained me, Matt Damos. He's a huge influence still to this day. People that I watch on social media, I see them on there and they influence me from afar. I just see what they're doing. And I'm like, man, I know I can do that. Who has been your biggest influence in the car business so far? In the business? Wow, that's a great
That's a really great story, or a great question. I've worked for probably 5 or 6 different companies. Again, I'm touching on this, man, crazy these questions, because I just hit on this stuff. Anybody that gave me an opportunity, and I don't think I can single one person out. I really can't, even though it'd be good.
It is hard. It is hard.
It is
yes.
hard. It really is. I agree.
And this is not even a bad thing. This would be a good thing, but I don't think I can do just one. Anybody that gave me an opportunity when not anyone else was or would,
right.
I took a distinct stance that early in my career, I was going to do what I could and make it and crush it for them.
Right.
Because they gave me the chance.
Yes, sir.
So until I got, until we had kids and we got married, like the why was different early in my career. And literally, and I'm not kidding you, the why then were the people within the business, some of my managers, and then an owner that gave me an opportunity that I didn't want to let them down. They were my why.
Yeah, man. Hey,
until I got married and had kids, I still cared about them, but not nearly as much as my wife and my kids at that point. Then it kind of switched and turned the corner.
Oh, yeah.
So there were 2 people when I very first started. A sales manager of mine took me under his wing when I was literally fresh green pea on the showroom floor with no belt. I literally didn't even have a belt when I went to work the first day. I didn't even make it to work with gas, bro. I'm telling you, it was bad. It was bad.
Yeah.
He gave me a shot. And
I've sent so many people home for no belt.
Well, again, this is why I was working for him, because it looks absolutely terrible. Yeah, it's no good. So he told me in 6 months, after a year being with him, he told me, he's like, Dust, I got to tell you, 3 months in, I didn't think you were going to do nothing. I thought I was going to have to throw your ass out of here real fast because you're a young punk-ass kid that did real well, athletically. And then you came here to the real world. They kind of punched you in the face, but you weren't taking it the right way. You had too much of a chip on your shoulder. You thought that you were better and above anybody when you don't know anything about this business. And it's so weird because that was not my mentality growing up, really. But I can see that I did that, but he didn't give up on me, and he took me under his wing and told me everything that he ever learned, he taught me. And I love him for that. And then my prior place that I worked down in New Jersey until we moved back up, because now we're where we are now, which is about 4.5 hours from where we were for the 5 years prior.
Okay.
Because we moved back up to family. We were in central New Jersey, and neither of us had any family members, friends, or anything. And then when our boys were growing up, we're like, oh my gosh, like they don't know the grandparents, they don't know their aunts, their cousins, and nothing. So we moved back. That's why we're here. So the owner there, and they gave me a shot to, my first general manager gig, he kind of threw me the keys. Again, I wasn't trying to do it just to make money. I was doing it to prove to him that he made the right decision.
No doubt.
And I was not going to let him down. So that kind of changed. I would say mainly 2 people in the business.
That's awesome, man. And that's great. I love how you explained all that, because that is something, like I think a lot of people who are they've accomplished things, it's because they have that, like when you get an opportunity, it's because money is a byproduct. I mean, a byproduct of doing the right thing and doing your job really good and focusing on what you need to do. You said, I'm going to make money, but it's more or less, I'm going to prove to me and to you and to anybody in the future that I can do this.
Yes.
And you took the bull and you're like, I'm going to ride this thing, and you did it. And kudos to you. I mean, I think that's how Lou did it. Me and Lou, we were young in the business, and I was a floor manager before a year on the floor, before I was a year in the business, because they gave me an opportunity. And I was like, instead of saying, I don't know, I was like, you know what, I could do this. Yep. I could train everybody that comes in here, even though I don't know anything. Yep. But I used it as an opportunity. Like Lou, I was the floor manager when he came in. And so I took this opportunity to not just teach him stuff, but I got to learn. I mean, this guy came in so hot and heavy and was making me like, oh my God, I don't know if I'm going to be a floor manager long with this guy on the floor. But it pushed me to be better at my job, But so, and so I took that by the horn. And when I had an opportunity years ago to start producing for a staffed event company where I got to call dealers and try to work, I had no idea what I was doing. I never talked to a dealer on the phone. I was a salesman, a car salesman that, barely had a college education, and I was in the Air Force for 4 years. You know, I just sell cars.
For your service.
We appreciate it. Lou's also a vet himself. He was an Army vet.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah, man. We appreciate that, man. Thank you very much. So it was an honor for us, honestly. But that all that came together, and that's awesome. I love your story, man. That's great, and I'm glad you shared that with us.
To touch on that, I'm just going to throw my little droplets in here for you, and for all those that are listening, because again, car guys and car gals, this conversation isn't just for us. It's enlightening me. It's definitely enriching me, but it's your responsibility, if you're listening, if you're watching, to pull something out of this. It's your responsibility to get something out of what you're investing. You're investing your time listening to us right now, so get something out of that. Inside of it, there's a thread that he has, even in the case of him going against maybe the grain, or having some growing pains and transitioning from profession to profession, and all of the rough edges that have to get sanded off in the process of sharpening himself. He still has a thread and a beat of being coachable and a coach-player relationship that has him then honoring the coach put me in. I better do what I'm supposed to do right now. The coach put me where I'm supposed to be, and he trusts me to be on this field. He trusts me to wear this jersey. He trusts me to have this number. He trusts me to be on this field with him right now. I'm going to go do this because I want coach just to give me a good job, attaboy, thank you, hey, you did your job. And sometimes the coach ain't going to say, hey, good job, thank you, you did your job. You know what I mean? So many times people want so much praise for doing what they were hired for, and they're paid high dollars to do. You know what I mean?
True.
It's I do definitely 100%. I'm always about praise people, love on them. At some other levels, I do get to I get that Brooklyn Italian guy that says that's your job. What are you talking about? I did my job. It's the and then some kind of guy that generally gets the extra attaboys, the extra accolades, the extra rewards, the extra medals in the military, and the extra trophies at the end of the season. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Oh, 100%.
And then some guy. But you have a coachable thread inside of you, which is, absolutely key for people to be able to take on in order to know it's not just you that put you in the game. So many people get so big-headed. It takes a coach to put you in the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and every time we put somebody in the game, we're trusting them with the ring we're wanting to wear. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's a great relationship. It's a great thread that he has. And car guys and car gals, I encourage you, make sure that you have a coachable heart, coachable mindset, and then a coachable process of doing things to where it has you able to make an adjustment. Watch yourself again. See where it is that you messed up. Reanalyze your conversations with people. Reanalyze your conversations with coworkers. Man, did I handle that right? Or am I doing this right with this person? Will it actually benefit them better and me better? Will it help the company more? So many different things that I can play in and go in off of all of that, all the episodes, folks. But we got to get to third line. You got anything extra to add to that real quick?
No, we'll go.
All right.
You got to go above, though. That's all I'll say. You got to be that extra person that you're alluding to.
That's actually
Just doing the bare bones is not going to get you anywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't do it just for praise or attaboy, but do it because if you have more to give, well, then I'll be darned. You better give it.
Yes.
Right? And when you give that extra, that's how you succeed.
Yeah, no doubt, man. That's exactly right. Wait, I love how you touched on that. That was perfect.
Yeah.
You have a new podcast. I'm going to go ahead and bring it up. It's called 2 Steps Ahead. Brother, we listened to the first week, both Lou and I. Very great introduction to talk about what you're going to do. You're talking about behind the scenes. You're talking about everything. What was the drive to make you do your new podcast?
People like you. Now, I'm not kissing your ass here, and I'm being dead serious. So, like you said, Fred, October 2019-ish, what are we, 5, 6, 7, whatever it is, months in, I really got into LinkedIn. And it was for the reason solely to see what other people, different markets, different regions, different parts of the country, whatever it is, in my business, have to say, how they're doing things, what's working for them. Is there anything I can pick up from somebody? That was the intent. The intent was literally to get better and get some good ideas, whether it's vendors or processes or product, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know what? There's a lot of good out here. I'm going to take some of this stuff. But I got a couple things to say. Let's see if anybody cares. So then I started to take my little phone here and shoot a 60-second video about something that I thought about. I forget what I said first, whatever. And then I was like, oh my God, actually people are kind of responding. And then I'm getting, direct messages. And then I'm getting people calling my cell phone, and we're having good conversation. We're just having good conversation. And it made me feel, holy crap, I don't think that I'm actually as stupid as I think I am, because a lot of people are agreeing and saying, great job, and all these, patty cake. So I was like, man, this is really cool. This is a good network, and it continues to grow, and it's growing still. Yes, so because of that, I was like, shit, let's just do this. I get extremely long-winded. Everybody knows it. I don't just like to hear myself think, but when I get going on something, yeah, right. When I get going on something, I just feel that I got something to help somebody with. We got 40 or so employees here. A couple of we share with the auto group. So I get to do that with them every single day, which I'm grateful for. Right. But I feel that some of these things that I have to say, maybe some more people can take from this as well. So I said, shoot, let's just get it and let's come up with an idea. And we always work this way with the thought behind 2 steps ahead, which is what you were just saying. Take what has happened and make sure that if it's a negative, don't let that happen again. If it's a positive, continue to do it and always be 2 steps ahead of the curve. Have that anticipation, which is a big thing in athletics as well. You hear a lot of commentators talk about the best athletes on the basketball court and football field, maybe not so much baseball field, but sometimes that they're anticipating, and they're 2 steps, they're 2 plays, they're 2 passes, they're 2 whatevers ahead of everybody else on the field. So they might not even be more talented, but mentally they can almost see what's going to happen. So they're prepared for it and they have a response. Or in this world, with an employee or a customer that is about to ask a question, they already know the answer. If you've prepared so much, they're all over the place, bro. They have the answers. If you've set everything up over a longer period of time with your actions, your responses, and what you say and how you treat people, they're going to know the answers before they ask the questions. And if we do that, man, is everybody on the same page? And when everyone's on the same page, whoo, shit gets real smooth. Yes, and it gets real fun. And then the capabilities, there is no ceiling.
That's right. There is no limitation to that.
Man, great answer, man. That's the reason why your podcast. That's why your it's a great answer. That's why your podcast is going to be special, man. And the same way
from the heart.
It's from the heart. And people want that. People want the truth, and people want to feel that. And the community out there, like you said, on social media and LinkedIn, everywhere. LinkedIn, there's so much love on there. There is. Oh, yeah. And it's unreal. And I love that, because that media, you can literally connect with just car guys. It's so easy to find them on there. And and you can sit there and you could talk about things. And like you said, you put out a video. Like, I remember my first one. I remember when I did it, and I was like, oh God, this is so, what if they don't like it? What if they make it? Yeah. I send it out and you do it. But then once you do one, it's like, okay, well, I did one. I had a good response. Let me do another one. Then people start giving you feedback. Like you said, instant messages and stuff like that. And next thing you know, we're on each other's I'm on your podcast one day, you're on my podcast, stuff like that, crazy stuff that happens,
100%.
And we all become friends, but we're all from different parts of the country, but we all are on the same freaking mission, man.
Yes.
And it's not about selling cars. It's about solving problems. It's about helping people find a solution for their everyday thing, whether it's your salesperson, your office staff, your customers that walk in, your service department. You're always trying to find a solution for a person. That's why you, as a general manager, that's what you are. You're the biggest problem solver in the building. And that skill that you have, that you've developed over these years, is it's a useful thing, and people need to hear it. And your podcast is going to be wonderful because of it. So
well, I appreciate it. I hope so. And to your point, everything that we've spoke about, even so far today, and most of what you guys have spoke about in the past with yours, is rarely so granular that it would work only in the car business. Right. Rare. Very rare. Like, how many times have you talked about LTV only? Well, if you're on a F&I, live stream on Facebook, okay, you're going to talk about LTV. But the majority of what you guys talk about, the majority of what I'm going to, is not just car business.
No, it's generalized.
It's everything. It's people.
Oh, that's the feedback I've been getting. It's like, hey, I get people from that are outside the car business that give me some of the best comments. They're like, man, that makes sense for everyday purpose. What you're talking about, I was like, it is. It's just that I am a car guy, and that's what I know. So that's what I'm feeding it, but it bleeds out, man. Because if you have that right, like what you're talking about, being a good leader, leadership doesn't matter if you're in a car business. If you're a good leader, you're a good leader.
Yes.
And you are a good leader, and that's why you are where you're at. And you've had all the opportunities that you've had, and people saw that in you. And so I applaud you.
Thank you.
Way to be that guy. You know, Lou, I've done 4 questions. I always leave Lou with the 5th question.
So this one, we want to make sure that we dig deep in making sure that you peel away maybe any fluff that would be added to the core ingredient. And when I say core ingredient, I'm going to say, Dustin, what would it be? Being that you've been in different positions, you've been in different opportunities, you've had different leadership roles, you've had many different roles that you've had, okay, over the years, including father, including husband.
Okay.
You are the tone setter. You are literally the actual thermostat to whatever room it is that you go into. You are not just telling the temperature, you are setting it, okay? So that's the type of solutionary that you are, and it's exciting to just have a cup of coffee and a conversation with you. But
thank you.
No doubt.
For the people out there and the rest of the solutionaries that want to save the world with us and want to brew solutions for common everyday challenges, what is the key ingredient to shifting culture to the direction you're envisioning taking it to? I'll give you a minute.
Okay.
Brew on that.
Brew on that for a moment. Let that percolate.
Okay.
Take a deep breath. Take a sip. Take a sip. We're sipping solutions. Woo!
There we go.
I have a feeling he already has the answer in his head.
Oh, you ready? You ready?
Yeah. I was waiting for you for your break.
Oh, okay. All right.
So, as I told you prior to us starting, I just shot our 2nd episode. The 2nd episode is, when is this going live?
This will be live Monday.
Monday. Okay.
No,
so I can say this.
2 Mondays from now.
Okay. So
You're good.
All right. Is culture. And to me, 3 main pillars of how to get there. I started off with, and I hope you still listen because I'm going to tell it to you, but it'll be on in a couple of days, so I hope you still listen.
Oh, I will. Trust and believe I will.
Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard.
Mm-hmm.
I express this to my people every day. I don't care if you are God's gift. I don't care if your history has showed that you sell 30 cars a month. I don't care that you have the biggest grosses in the world. I don't care that you're at 2.5 hours per repair order on the desk or whatever the case is. If you are not giving 120% of you, and if you don't see the vision that we are doing things as one unit and not individuals, I don't care how good you are, you don't work here. Number 2, you can make mistakes. But people that make mistakes within the business need to know that from the top dog down, they're not going to be belittled. They're not going to be embarrassed. They're not going to be fearful of their job unless it was a malicious intent, obviously.
It's the future culture. We've been talking about this. Keep going.
This is, so I can tell from our talk already that I'd like to give you a hug through the computer because we're definitely together.
We're brothers. We're brothers.
100%. The bro, 1,000,000%. People have to understand that you have their back. And I'm in that position. Not everybody is, but a lot of people are. And if I'm in a position to where the way that I make people feel is going to determine how they produce, well, then I better make them feel pretty damn good. Respected, appreciated, trusted. I give people a lot of leeway. I give people a lot of empowerment in here, almost to the point where there's times that I have nothing to do.
That's great.
Like, I'm like, what do I do today? Now, since this whole COVID nonsense has started, I've been here all day, every day. But normal circumstance, like Saturdays, I kind of sit in here and I look at LinkedIn and I can't wait until the general sales manager says, Dustin, I need a trade appraisal. Or can you work a deal? And I'm like, yes, I'm available. Yeah. So I give a lot of empowerment. Now, we need to hold each other accountable, though. So if the mistakes that are made, we address, we fix right away, but we do it together, because if one person makes a mistake, well, then so did I, right? So even though I might not have anything to do with that transaction, well, it's still my mistake because I'm responsible for the whole machine here. So if they make mistakes, so do I. So we got to figure it out right away, put it in the memory bank, write it down, don't make it again, and we move forward. We're not going to embarrass anybody or make them feel like crap either. And no one's ever going to get fired for making a mistake, again, unless there's malicious intent. And finally, I have it written down and I spoke about it, be understanding and realize and want to know how the well-being of everybody that works for you is on a personal level, and what do they want with a little line next to it. What is their why? It's different for everyone. It's a whiteboard.
You're right.
It's in my office. I wrote it down because those are my topics. I keep them up there when I'm talking. So
I love it.
On an individual basis, we can't motivate everybody the same way.
No.
I motivate one person because they want to make a ton of money. All right, I'm in. I motivate another one because they want to fulfill their family. I motivate another one because they want to make sure that they get to go to their son's or their daughter's recital or game or practice or whatever on Tuesday at 4 o'clock when no one leaves until 6 o'clock. Well, they're freaking leaving. Because if they miss that game, I miss that game. And God damn it, they're not missing that game under my watch. So we'll figure out a way to have a schedule to where nobody misses it. So that might be their why. That is how you have culture. That's it. And
that's what makes people want to complete their job for you, because if they know what it is that they're working for.
I can't wait till you listen to this. This is exactly
I can't wait to hear it. It's going to be a great show. I already know. I can't wait. That's going to be awesome.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Don't do it for me. I tell them all the time, to your point, Lou, you don't work for me. We say this exact thing. You do not work for me. You work for your family, your wife, your husband, your kids, whatever. I'm just here to tell you how to get it done. I'm just here to assist you and give you all the tools you need to set you up, set a ball up on a tee. You need to do it. But if I wasn't in your corner, you would fail. So I'm in everybody's corner.
Right. Right on, man.
And we do everything as one. And that's why they got me this thing. That's why we label ourselves the dirtbags. That's it. And I feel that I'll put our culture up against anybody. I'm not being cocky. I'm just saying.
No, it's beautiful. I love that.
People will jump into traffic for me because they know that I would do the same for them.
Coach, man.
Wow.
Love that.
Wow.
Oh, that hit me right here in the heart.
Yeah, it's all.
That's a great answer.
Deep stuff. Well, car guys and car gals, we're going to get ready to take a break. We have Dustin with us right now, but I want to make sure that we do zero back in on making sure that first things are first, and we connect together on that. Dustin, we often share to the rest of the world a mantra to be sure that you use 3 F's to apply to your life so that you can accomplish great things and you're not held back by unforgiveness, by fear, or unfocus. So with that, we say forgive, focus, fly. Those are the movements, and we start every single group meeting every day. For the most part, is my way of life, is to forgive, focus, and fly. So we're going to do that together for the car guys and car gals that are watching and listening to us. Go ahead and put your hands on your shoulders real quick, and then on 3, we're just going to say forgive, focus, fly. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Forgive, focus, fly.
Thank you.
Car guys and car gals, we are forgiving, focusing, and flying with Dustin Corbett on the Car Guy Coffee podcast. This is Lou Ramirez, the car guy.
This is Fred Lenartz, the subprime hero.
And we got Dustin with us. We will be right back.